you can write it down in points. Now we will learn about another herb plant, that is the China rose. Hibiscus, or what we commonly call is the China rose. You have all seen it. In case of China rose, if you have observed, if you have not observed, you can easily see one. This is a very common kind of flower we all have at our home. So we find only one leaf arises at a node, and the leaf on the next node is opposite to the previous leaf. Now you can understand this only if you observe a hibiscus or China rose plant. I'll suggest you all to have a look. Now, so does the leaves on the two succeeding nodes alternate with one another? They are opposite. The leaves are basically simple with three prominent longitudinal veins. Now each flower is very attractive. You all know they are large, they are showy, they are red in color, and they are complete and bisexual flower. What is a complete flower? You have learnt it in your junior classes. I'll again make you recall. Complete flower is a flower which has all the four holes or all the four folds. What are they? The calyx, corolla, androecium, and the gynoecium. So hibiscus is having all the four holes, and it is a bisexual flower. Bisexual flower, you find both the male and the female part in it. And complete flower, a flower which is having all the four holes, that is the calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium, is a complete flower, whereas a flower who lacks any one of them is an incomplete flower. So herbaceous plants are those that have soft and perishable stem, and they include the shrubs and the trees. Now we will proceed on to the general description of a plant. We'll start with root. What is root? You all know it. You are learning this from your junior classes, since your junior classes. So root is the underground portion of the plant. They are usually whitish and they bear no leaves. The main root is called the primary root, and it bears side root. Now these side roots are called the secondary root. What is the function of root? Root fixes the plant in the soil and it absorbs nourishment from the soil as well, which leads to the growth of the tree. So we will have to remember that roots are usually white in color and they bear no leaves. There is a main root which is called the primary root. This main root bears some side roots. These side roots are called the secondary root. And what is the function? The root fixes the plant in the soil and it absorbs nourishment for the plant as well. Next, above the root, what comes? It is the stem. What is the stem? Stem is the main portion of the plant above the ground. See, it holds the plant upright. So it is the main portion of the plant that is situated above the ground. Now, these stems bear axillary buds, and these axillary buds bear leaves. Okay. Now, buds are also present at the end of a branch or at the end of the main axis of the stem. Now, such buds are called the terminal bud, and the place on the stem where a leaf arises is called the node. Next comes the leaves. Leaves are borne on the nodes on the stem. You have all observed it. Leaf consists of a long or short leaf stack which is called the petiole, and they have an expanded leaf blade which is called the lamina. So what is petiole? Petiole is the short leaf stalk. It may be short or long. It is the short or long leaf stalk which is called petiole, and expanded leaf blade is called the lamina. Next comes the flowers. Flowers are what? Flowers are the reproductive part of the plant. It may have a stalk, that is the pedicel, with more or less flattened base. Now what is this flattened base called in the language of science, in the language of biology? It is called thalamus. Now this thalamus forms the base. The floral leaves are of four kinds. You have learnt about it since your junior classes, that is the four folds or the four whorls that we say, WHORLS. What are the four kinds? The sepals, petals, stamens and carpel. Sepals are collectively called calyx. Petals are collectively called the corolla. So this is the second fold. The first fold is the calyx. Okay, so collectively, like a lot of sepals together from the calyx, that is the first hole. Second hole is a lot of petals from the corolla, that is the second hole or the second fold. Third are the stamens, that is the androecium, that is the male part. Remember the anther pollen? Yes. Next, the fourth hole is the carpel. Carpel makes the innermost hole. Okay, so it is the fourth hole and it is called what? It is the gynoecium, that is the female part, the style, stigma and the ovary. Now let us learn the difference between herb, shrubs and trees. See, classification of plant is basically based on the nature of stem and